Staunch me, baby! You know, that's just going to fill my love tank with that kind of love, right? Yeah? So, really important you understand. The reason it's good to understand these different loves is because sometimes they get so messed up that we never get to a point where we can communicate the love that we need from our partner to get love, to actually feel love. So relationships can go for decades not understanding the love language of the other partner, and affairs happen and breakdowns happen and all kinds of coldness creeps into a relationship because they're not understanding the love language. Because what happens is we get selfish and we say, unless you show me my love language, you're not getting nothing.
Oh.
So, we did that in unison. Now, so, Stuart, the second kind of love is it's called philia love or philia love, which is that kind of friendship. So, you might be. So my leadership team, for example, that I hang with, there's that kind of real love there. You know, it's more than just this kind of surfacey, you know, kind of supermarket like ice cream, love cake kind of love. It's got a sense of real dedication. Pardon?
Trust and value.
Yeah, they're exactly right. There's real trust. There's real value. You really value those people. You really get it. As far as I go, is that a finger?
Belonging as well.
Yeah, this is where the belonging. Do you want me to what? Oh, thanks, mate. No, I'll just load these to the Facebook page or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Now, where we get confused is if we're in a friendship sort of love situation, like we love our mates. You know, when I are hanging out with mates and say, love ya, you know, that sort of stuff. That's that kind of love. What can get confused is somebody can once feel like if you're attracted to a young lady or a man, whatever. We can start to see that person in a way that's kind of like a different level of love, and you don't know whether they feel that same way. That moves into what they call eros. Now, eros love is where erotic comes from. It's the root word of erotic or erotica. Now, that's been a little bit kind of distorted over the years where it's got a little bit out there, but originally the Greek context of that word was that kind of romance love. So when you're romancing somebody, you're erosing them. So just look at the person next to you and go, eros. For all the boys that looked at one another at that point, I mean, freak Tyler out. This is where, and it's not unhealthy, this is where erotic love happens. So we often think erotic is that kind of X-rated kind of stuff that's filthy. It's not. Right? Now, I'm not talking about your sexual preference or your appetite for sex. What I'm talking about, because that's a different kind of conversation again, that might mean, like some blokes will say, you know, I've got to have sex every day, otherwise I don't feel loved. So, blokes, did you just get the heads up right about that? Don't ever ask for that. So, however, there are women who say, yeah, I'm pretty cool with that. I'm pretty cool with a few times a day. Now, we can be funny about this, but that might be just your age right now. But the part is that that's how they might be a physical touch kind of person. And eros is high on their love scale. So eros is that kind of love that involves your body and involves conversation at a deep level, at an intimate level, at a low tone, and hopefully not the women that low tone, you know, but you know, it's that sort of base love that says, you know what, it's where desire happens, it's where lust happens. Lust is not so, we often see lust as unhelpful. Lust is okay as long as it's for your partner, and not lust for anything that walks around in a skirt or big abs. Or thingy abs, whatever. Damn it. But if you are looking at a gentleman and he's got those tight abs and bun, that's eros right there. Okay? When you're like, you know, you got to put your face back on. That's at that moment, that's called eros. There's one other type of love which is way beyond. way beyond what most humans are capable of. We do experience it. It's called agape. Now, agape is what they call unconditional love. That takes practice. Now, people say to you, I love you unconditionally. And then they follow it up and say, but. You know I love you unconditionally, but. Unconditional love comes with no but. And that's not a double T. Right? So, yeah. He got it. So, unconditional love is like, I unconditionally love my sons. Unconditionally. They might make dumb choices. They might make good choices. They might go out with someone I'm thinking, They might have the same sex attraction for them. I love them unconditionally. Now, for some of us, I know I grew up in a family that did not display that at any level. So I never understood what unconditional love could even look like. For some of us that have faith in something, usually the God that you're serving or that you submit to gives you that sense of unconditional love. You can't earn God's love. You just are. You're just loved. Regardless of what you do, you'll never disappoint God, whoever your God is. And so for me, I know and understand that kind of love towards my sons. There's nothing they could do. That doesn't mean they can't make me sad. It doesn't mean that I'm not mad at times. It just means no matter what they do, my love tank for them could never be emptied. That's how I understand it. But I didn't learn that in my family environment. I learnt that through a lot of pain. So, unconditional love can enter a relationship and a marriage or whatever later down the track, but it takes unbelievable work. Always working at unconditional love. It doesn't mean you always like, because there are things that I love about my family, and there are sometimes I just don't like the decisions they're making, but that never changes the love. I love young people unconditionally. It doesn't mean I like what you do at times, right? But I love, ever since I was 14, to have just loved young people unconditionally. I don't care what they tell me. I don't care about their journey. I don't care about that. I care about them unconditionally. So I get this. I've tried to practice this. As I approach 50, I am practicing this. What does it mean to unconditionally love someone regardless of what they do? Regardless of what they say. And sometimes that's tested, especially if someone hurts you. So guys, I want to, this series, this night that we're talking about, if you're in a relationship with someone, we are at a far point from the, we've done this in 4 weeks, but the bus stop is so far down here. If we could just slow down a little bit and stop trying to ride the bullet train of relationship and just realise, and even friendship, you will have friendships if you apply these principles to them. You'll understand your mates better if you understand their love language. It sounds kind of wussy-pussy, but it's not. Understanding love. What is the number one human need?
Feel loved.
What is it?
Love.
Do you want to be loved?
Yes. Yes.
Some of us. Man, I crave it like Macca's, right? So it is like, well, maybe not Macca's, like, I don't know, pasta bake, whatever, I don't care what you eat. Chicken pasta bake, chicken parmigiano at the pub. Beautiful. So every single one of us, whether you're in touch with your emotions or not, you dress, act, respond, speak, display, and withdraw all out of feeling loved. That number one human need, and that is way above food. We think, oh no, I only need food. Well, you need that. Hey?
We need oxygen.
The oxygen, well, that's true too. Sometimes I've held my breath when it's come to relationships and then passed out. So, the challenge for us is love is the most significant thing that humans crave. I don't care what age you are. If you're a young person, if you're 12 or 13, you crave the love of your parents, the love of your friends. Now, we might not say, I want my friends to love me. I tell Trippy all the time I love him, no matter how awkward he feels about that. I tell my mates all the time, love you, because I do. I just love him. I love David. Solid guy. I'm going to embarrass him at the moment. Look, he's getting all manly on me, you know. Yeah, sometimes men will do that. Yeah, whatever. And then what they're really saying is, yeah, tell me more. You know. So there is a man. Yeah. Yes. We're having coffee, bitch. You know, so swipe left. You know, so he's not blonde. You know, whatever. You know, so it could be as superficial as that. So when you start saying stuff like that, when you start saying, oh, they're not a blonde, they're not this height, they're not blue-eyed, they're not this, not that, where does that fit?
White black.
Yeah, it's superficial. It's eros. It sits in there. Anything physical. You know, she's got good boozies. You know, she's got a nice bum. That's in the eros sector, right? That's MJ. I got plenty to go around. You know, so right. So the challenge. So the challenge in this moment is in a friendship. Or, as I've said to you before, at the end of, what year are we in? 2016. At the end of 2014, at the start of 2015, I made a decision around my friendships. I began to filter me first and my friendships around what kind of relationship, love I was going to have around me for the next season of my life. Very, very difficult, because usually when we do that, people get offended and rejected, and it's very, very difficult for them to sometimes accept that we are moving. But the problem is with that, we all do it, we just don't articulate it sometimes. We all move away from people because we don't want the confrontation, and we move away from them and we say, yeah, I don't really like hanging out with those people anymore because they might confront me all the time. I don't really like hanging out with those people all the time because they bring me down. I don't like, and this is all the stuff you're saying inside. You never say it out loud. The healthy part is being able to go to someone and say, you know, if I'm in a relationship with Taylor and she does something that I say to her, why don't you hug me when I come home anymore? What? Because I stink. I might be a tradie, right? And I come home, she goes, you shower, and I'm hugging you all night, babe. You know, so, heads up, got it. He's already been told. Yeah, I already know that. You know, so now you come home, hi babe, into the shower. Why? Because my love tank and physical touch makes, you know. You know, so, she touched my tongue. You know, so, stop it. So, the challenge, simply guys, I know I'm so inappropriate, you're going to have to edit the hell out of this. You know, so,
Alex is coming to get
remember this, words of affirmation could be the very thing that convinces you in a relationship. If you don't understand that about your friends, if you don't understand about that, if your friends get really needy and you're not affirming them, look, it's good to affirm people anyway. If you haven't learnt the language of affirmation, learn it. Learn language. Men, you've got all these emotions raging in one side of your brain, you've got all these words raging on the other side, and testosterone severs the two right down the centre. It's hard work to get them connected. Women, you've got emotions and words flying around in there like you need a fly swatter to kind of kill a couple of those off. Because no man can kind of figure that out at times. What are you feeling? Nothing. 1,000 things. You know, what?
I felt nothing. I felt 1,000 things.
So, drawing up our end of our this week. If you're progressing at this point, now again, this is not the point where you have an agenda to sleep with this person. This is not about that. This is about how do you find that one person that loves you for you. How do you find that person that you could give all of who you are to them? This is very difficult to navigate through. I was talking to someone on Friday afternoon and they said to me, I said, oh, what are you doing tonight? And they said, oh, I'm going in the city. I said, oh, what are you doing? They said, nothing. I said, what does that nothing mean? I said, well, I'm doing something. I said, what's her name? He goes, I didn't say it was a her. I said, what's his name? I said, well, it's not a him. I said, well, it's either him or her. Please don't make it an animal.
Bestiality alert.
So, we get confused along the way, I know. So guys, words of affirmation. If that's you, if you're a words of affirmation person, you need to have the courage to say to the other person that you're in a friendship with or a relationship with, I need you to affirm me because I'm so broken within my soul that that's my love language. I need you to keep affirming me. And guess what? I won't get a big head over it because I'm so empty with it. You could just keep saying it to me for 20, 30, 40, 50 years and it will never be enough. It doesn't mean that you need to exhaust yourself over it, because sometimes their love tank needs to be looked at, because you could just keep telling them every day that they're amazing and still it would never be enough. That's something about going on inside that person. Quality time is another one. Spend time with someone. You figure out when you ring that person and they go, you know, like that, what is it telling you?
They like you.
Well, they do, hopefully.
In a way.
They're appreciating that you're taking.
Yeah, you're taking an interest. I messaged someone the other day and say, mate, I haven't seen you around in a while. I'd love to catch up for a coffee. Come back this volume of, man, that would be awesome. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going, oh, awesome. Quality time. Yeah, pancake. Acts of service. You do stuff for people. That might be your love language, how you're showing someone love. If they don't interpret it that way, you'll say, it's like I never do enough. It's like this person, I can never do enough for this person. Your love language is acts of service. So you need to find someone that can figure that out and respond to that. Parents normally aren't so good at it. They'll appreciate it, say thanks for helping out, but that's because you're a family member. When I'm talking about relationships or partnership, that's where it's at. Gifts, if someone's giving you gifts all the time, you go, you don't have to. Oh, now I owe them another gift. No, that's their love language. Now I owe them. They bought me this, now I've got to, oh God, I've got to go out and buy something else. No, that's their love language. They buy gifts because that's how they show love. Physical touch is always an easy one, but often one of the first ones to go. Physical touch. You know, we used to do that thing, pinky promise. That's simply that, guys. We don't have to try and make more of these relationships than we need to. It could be simply, you know, putting your fist up, you know, bump with your mate. Could be hugging them. And let me tell you, when you hug someone, don't pat them. That's a key. James, come for a second. Yeah. When you hug someone, even if they're the same gender, when you hold them, you just hold them. When you pat someone, watch the difference. When you hold someone, you go, good job, mate. What's that tell? No. Which one did you prefer looking at?
Doesn't mean,
why?
Doesn't that mean get off me? Or please get off?
Which one? Patting? Patting doesn't indicate a lot of love. It just sort of, it's like obligation pat. Yeah.
It's kind of like, yeah, thanks.
Parents are bad at this one? When your parents hug you? Yeah. You know? We've taught our boys, our kinsman's group, not to pat. Isn't that right, David? Yeah, we talk about it all the time. We say, yeah, I've taught the men not to pat. Why? Because it communicates to the younger men that they don't actually give a crap. Why? I don't know. But when we hold, for a moment, I'm not talking about inappropriate holding. I'm talking about an appropriate hug where you hug someone. That's why we give a lot of sugar here at Bridgebuilders, because we realise just how much hugging bond does. So, guys, this week, I want to encourage you. We will load the 5 love languages and the 4 sectors of love, understanding love, and realise get into the practice of knowing, you know, and telling someone, my love language is. Now, you don't use it. Let me warn you really clearly. Do not use this to manipulate a relationship. It will backfire every time. You will end up in a more wounded, hurt place in your friendships and in your relationships for your entire life if you try and manipulate these forces to your advantage. You better deal with your character if that's how you are as a person. If all you want to do is get a shag, if all you want to do is get someone's gear off, if all you want to do is get into them, then that is not a good motivation, and you need to have a look at your character. And I'm happy to do that journey with you, or some of the older gals would love it to do that with the gals. Happy to have that journey about your character. So this week, let's have some fun. Let's try and figure out our friends' love languages, our love language, and our family love language, and try and figure it out. We'll put it up there. We'll show you all the explanations, what it's all about. I want you to thank Taylor for being my assistant. Yeah. And we've got supper and jewellery. Yeah? Good job. Well done. Well done.